Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. It is Tuesday, December the 9th, and we are continuing to press into this victory week, coming off the big win against the Bears. Obviously, got to get ready for the Denver Broncos coming up here as the Packers travel out to Denver to take on arguably a top 3 team in the league. Some say it's the best team in the league. They got a really, really good defense, a pretty decent offense as well. We'll break that down as we get a little later into the week. But on today's show here, just a little afternoon episode for you guys and gals. We recently had Jordan Love on the Pat McAfee show today, so we're going to play a couple audio clips from that, kind of get your take on what Jordan Love had to say on the McAfee show. And he specifically name drops Christian Watson, a few others, and talks a little Matt LaFleur as well. So we'll dive into all that, react to it. We've also got some stats for you guys as everything is starting to become a little more up to date in terms of the numbers across the league. And I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised at where Jordan Love sits and even Christian Watson in some of the rankings. So before we get into it, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for me, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your day. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you, talking Packers on the daily. So if you're looking for that type of content, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and definitely click that bell icon so you're notified when we do go live every single day. All right, let's jump into it. Let's waste no time. We had Jordan Love on the Pat McAfee show just really a few minutes ago, man. This came down the pike. I've seen some of the clips that Pat was putting out on X. Love how Jordan Love represented the Green Bay Packers in this interview. He's just one of those dudes, man. You can tell we've got the right guy for the next decade at the most important position, not only in football, but probably in all of sports. They're playing quarterback for your Green Bay Packers. So let's go ahead and play the first audio clip. Again, this is from the McAfee Show over the McAfee Show podcast. And this was Pat, just asking Jordan about the play calling and how the offense has kind of gone to another level. They talked about how they struggled a little bit early, but here is what Jordan Love had to say about his head coach, Matt LaFleur.
What's your relationship like with Matt LaFleur, I guess, or how has it grown over your time there? It's fun to watch him on the sidelines. He seems to be very passionate, very fiery. I don't know if he's been pumping the crowd much lately or not, but I guess how is that, especially the communication through the helmet, and how do you guys get along day to day?
No, that's awesome. Matt's one of the best. I think for him, just being an offensive guy, being in there in the quarterback room with us, since I've been here, me being able to see him and A-Rod, how they communicated, and now me being able to be the guy. Matt does a great job. He communicates clearly with how we're trying to attack the defense, what kind of calls we're going to go on the field with, and everybody knows what we need to do. And if we're not getting certain things done the right way, we're able to make those adjustments. But he's a guy who, I don't know if you see, but during the game, he's always there right next to me, making sure we're on the same page with how we're going to attack him. But he's a very, I think he's one of the best offensive minded coaches in the NFL for sure.
Love the high praise that Jordan has for his head coach. And again, there's some people that they definitely underrate Matt LaFleur. He's now tied for the 11th most winning coach in NFL history in terms of winning percentage, and set to climb on up those rankings a little bit, as well as I think last night. Yeah, Nick Sirianni lost last night, so that's one of the guys that are in the top 5. Now, I don't know if Matt will catch him this year, obviously, but the Eagles having kind of a down year as they fell to 8-6 last night. But as Joe Pack Joe says here in NC, says, man, I'm about to go sell my Kia and buy a Toyota just to get that Toyotathon jacket, as Jordan Love is sporting the Toyotathon jacket on the Pat McAfee show. So again, man, when you look at what Jordan Love's done here this season, it really is remarkable. And again, some people would say he started the year slow, and I can understand that argument. Like you wanted to see a little bit more from Jordan early on, but at the same time, never at any point did you feel like he was being reckless with the football. He was being careless with the football, anything like that. To me, it felt like he always had command of the offense. Now, things weren't going quite the way you wanted them to go early on, obviously. You had receivers that were making mistakes, right? You had Jordan that made a handful of mistakes. Some people were questioning the play calling. The offensive line, of course, has been questioned all year long. It's definitely, I think this has been the worst that the offensive line has played in a long time. Now, not necessarily in pass protection, but when your O-line can't run block, it's obviously going to put you behind schedule more times than not. And even with Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson making absolutely amazing runs, still that's going to slow you down. But the new PFF grades dropped obviously yesterday, and everything got up to date. I think the dust has settled and we got an accurate reading of this, but I want you guys to check this out here. So I put a tweet out just a second ago. Jordan Love is now the second highest graded NFL quarterback according to PFF. Matthew Stafford is number 1 at 93.6. Number 2 is Jordan Love at an 89.9. Jordan Love's passing grade is now a 90.5. Right below Love, he's now officially passed up Dak Prescott at an 87.2 and Drake May at an 87.1. Josh Allen, 85.8. You've got Sam Darnold at an 83.4. Justin Herbert at an 80.9. Jalen Hurts at a 77.7. Mac Jones, 77.1. And then Patrick Mahomes at a 76.1. You got players like Jaden Daniels in the 12 spot, Jared Goff in the 13 spot, Bo Nix, who many people, including myself, think is a great NFL quarterback. He's in the 15 spot right now. So again, Jordan Love is now the second highest graded quarterback, according to PFF, across the entire league right now. I want to know what you guys think about that. Do you feel like that's an accurate depiction of how Jordan Love's played? Do you feel like he should be number 1 over Matt Stafford? Do you think he should be lower? How do you guys see that? Because to me, it's like, I think he's definitely a top 5 quarterback. If someone were to tell me, no, he's the second best quarterback in the league, I would probably go, I love the enthusiasm. I'm not quite there yet. But, man, when you look at what he's done the last 2 weeks, I mean, what's he thrown? Seven touchdowns and 1 interception in the last 2 games. And both of those games were on I'm talking about a prime, not necessarily prime time stage. Obviously, it was the early game Thanksgiving, and it was the 4:25 game of the week on Fox against the Bears. But nonetheless, they were like 2 of the games that were showcased that week. And it seems like on the national stage, when the stakes are high, Jordan Love plays his best football. It's wild how he's just taking that next step. And the big thing that's got me most excited about Jordan Love's play is the accuracy. He is putting the ball right on the money. And in some cases, he may underthrow a receiver like the Christian Watson one. Some people see that and go, yeah, you'd like for him to put it a little bit further out there. He knew there was no defender underneath and to the right. So why risk overthrowing him? Throw him to the open part of the field, right? And what you're seeing is he and Christian Watson kind of getting on the same page now, which is really, really exciting when you truly break that down, which leads us to the next clip where Jordan Love was asked by Pat McAfee just about the team in general. And I love, again, what do we always say? Good leaders, they absorb criticism. You never heard Jordan Love when he was being criticized for his play at any point in his young career. You never heard him, well, that player ran the wrong route, or that player didn't see the signal, or I didn't like the play call there. Yeah, that's a bad play call in that situation. You never heard that, right? Because good leaders, when they're criticized, they absorb that criticism, right? They absorb that critique. But when they're praised, they redistribute that to other people in the organization and the team, whoever. He just got through bragging about Matt LaFleur being one of the best offensive minds in the game, right? And now here he is talking about Christian Watson, as Pat asked here. Again, this is on the Pat McAfee show just a few minutes earlier today. And here's Jordan Love talking about Christian Watson's level of play.
I want to ask about this offense, that runs like a truck, but also a Ram truck, but also looks like a Toyota Sienna, I guess, is what we're doing around here. Christian Watson, obviously, magical day. You two have had a special connection. Can you tell me a little bit about you in LaFleur's offense, you still taking deep shots, still being a gunslinger, Christian Watson's development, but basically.
I love the fact that people refer to him as a gunslinger too. I don't think he's quite at the gunslinger level that Brett was, where Brett would just throw it into triple coverage as hard as he could, right? But it seems like when Jordan makes a mistake, it's more of a mental lapse as opposed to, I think I can get that ball in there. But I love the fact that he's got that tag on him as opposed to, the people that were criticizing Aaron Rodgers for not taking enough chances, right? I like that Jordan tends to lean towards Brett's style of play of, I'll take that chance. Not that Aaron never did, don't get me wrong, but I think that is a little bit better suited for this young football team to kind of see we really need to push the envelope just a little bit, even more than I'm comfortable with as a conservative fan, but push the envelope just a little bit to see what we can get away with. And then when you make that mistake, all right, let's pull back a little bit, if that makes sense. So I love the fact that he's kind of been tagged with more of a gunslinger than, let's say, a safer quarterback, if you will.
Just the offense as a whole without turning it over as much. Like, can you talk about that? Because I think that is a huge step for what you guys have become, right?
Yes. I mean, I think the biggest part of our offense is finding those explosive plays. You know, we got some big time playmakers, and obviously since Christian's been back and got healthy, he's been stepping up and making some huge plays. And I mean, you can see on that play right there, just the speed he has, his ability to create those yards after the catch is something not a lot of guys can do. But he's been great. He's been playing at a high level. But like you said, I think the key to our offense is finding those explosive plays and putting the pressure on the defense and taking some of these shots down the field. And guys are making plays right now.
Yeah, keeping your defense on the sideline watching points go up is good news.
It's absolutely great news. And again, back to what he was just saying there, explosive plays. You guys heard me talk about that for a long time on this show, right? And when people hear explosive plays, sometimes they just think big plays, big plays, big plays. No, explosive play is a running play of 10 yards or more and a passing play of 20 yards or more. And the reason that's so important is because the analytics show that when you hit on an explosive play, whether it's a 10-yard plus run or a 20-plus yard pass, it triples your chances of scoring on that specific drive. Okay, now it doesn't always happen, but anytime you could triple your chances. Now, why does that matter? It's because it puts the defense on their heels immediately. And that's why some of these coaches, some of these quarterbacks, especially some with the gunslinger mentality or tab that they've been hammered with here, like Jordan Love, it's why they want to try to hit on those explosives as opposed to just taking dink and dunk, dink and dunk, dink and dunk. Because the teams that typically do that don't have some of the best offenses in the league. They may have a really good turnover differential, which is important, but also you want a good blend of those explosive plays, tripling your chances of scoring, as well as trying to protect the football, picking your spots, that type of thing. So I just wanted to point that out, that's what they mean by explosive plays. Joe Pack Joe in NC says Stafford's being carried by Puka. May is more impressive than Stafford. I think that's a fair point. You know, Puka Nacua is unbelievable. Devontae Adams is he's got a good percentage of Devontae Adams left in him, right? Sean McVay's a great head coach, obviously, Super Bowl winning. I think the youngest coach to win the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly. But yeah, Puka is just, it's wild. We need to go back and pull some of the clips from the first year we started doing the podcast, because we name dropped Puka in the draft process. Was like, this dude, I don't understand why he's so low on draft boards. And he did go a little later in the draft, which was mind-boggling. And then all of a sudden, bang, he hits and he just takes off. It's kind of like Ryan Schlip talking about Zach Tom, like, hey, Zach Tom's kind of my pick of the draft, man. This is a solid offensive lineman. Drops to the fourth round. He ends up being an NFL stud. So it's just fun to kind of look back on some of those that you had a beat on a little bit, and other people may have overlooked, right? Joe Pack Joe NC says Love's got too much of a beautiful touch ball to be a gunslinger. It's hard to argue with that, man, especially here lately. He's been putting some serious touch on these balls, man. I mean, it's just unbelievable what he's been able to do here recently. And again, I'm blown away at how the accuracy has improved. And I know the Chicago Bears fans hope that Caleb Williams someday improves his accuracy like that. The problem, in my opinion, there is Jordan Love's accuracy was never that bad. Jordan Love's accuracy problem was more of a throwing off platform, bad mechanics, right? Caleb, to me, has never shown that he can just consistently put the ball right on a dime, right? So I'm really, really pleased with what Jordan Love's done in terms of his accuracy. And, you heard him name drop Christian Watson right there on that clip. And just want to pull this up. We pointed out Jordan Love is now the second highest graded quarterback in the National Football League, according to PFF, right? Christian Watson, don't look now. He is the fifth highest graded wide receiver in the league at the moment with an 87.0. So the top five, we just talked about Puka Nacua. He's leading the NFL to 94.6. Jackson Smith-Njigba in Seattle, a 93.3. Drake London in Atlanta, a 90.5. Amon-Ra St. Brown, an 89.9. And then Christian Watson with an 87. Listen to some of these names that Christian Watson is playing better than at the moment, all right? Listen to these names. George Pickens, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Adams. Remember, I was one of the people that said, man, let's get Devontae back in Green Bay for a couple of years, right? Let's get him back here. That'll help Jordan more than anything. Let's try to press into that approach, get a little bit of veteran leadership on the team, blah, blah, blah. Christian Watson, fresh off the ACL, guys. Not even a full, barely a full month since he came back from the ACL, right, is grading out higher than Devontae Adams. Nico Collins in Houston, Demario Douglas, a up-and-coming young player there for the New England Patriots. Stephon Diggs for the New England Patriots. Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce and Christian Watson are kind of two players that are going to be listed together as long as I watch football, because they're always at the top of the league in yards per reception. I think last year, Alec Pierce was number 1. Christian Watson was number 2 in yards per reception. I think Christian finished at like 21.4 yards per catch last year. And again, 4 catches, 89 yards or 82 yards, whatever it was, 84 yards. What's the average? It's going to come out to 20, 21 yards a catch from that last game. So he's continuing to stabilize, right? To hit that same plateau there, which is always top 3, top 5 in the league in yards per reception. So Alec Pierce is there. DeAndre Hopkins, right? You got Terry McLaurin, A.J. Brown of the Eagles. These are big money receivers. Keenan Allen, C.D. Lamb, Josh Downs. There's Tet McMillan, the top wide receiver on our draft board this year. Rashee Rice, T. Higgins. Remember T. Higgins? A lot of fans wanted to throw T. Higgins the checkbook and get him in here in Green Bay. He's grading out a 77, 22nd highest graded receiver. And, of course, Christian Watson is number 5. And then the last one I'll point out, 24 spot, Justin Jefferson with the 76. Now, I know he has J.J. McCarthy throwing him footballs when he's healthy, and in some cases it's a 3rd or a 4th string level quarterback. But it's still, PFF is supposed to remove some of that stuff, right? That this is how this player is playing. This is how he's running his routes. This is how he's catching the football. This is how he's blocking within his responsibility. So it's supposed to remove the other noise that's around him. The fact that Christian Watson is ranked, what is that, 19 spots higher than Justin Jefferson in PFF grade? Boys, I think we got our number 1 receiver. You're getting closer and closer to that. If Christian continues this the rest of the, he ain't got to do this every week for me to go, all right, he's the dude. But if he does this, for half of the remaining games, 1 or 2 here, then he's off a game or 2, and then he does again. I mean, what he's doing, we haven't seen in Green Bay in a long time. Now, Jaden Daniels has arguably had better production when he's healthy the first 2 years he was in the league. But again, he doesn't bring to the table what Christian Watson does. And that's what's beautiful about this combo that we have at wide receiver. You got Christian Watson who could take the top off. He's also got the size, the body build to be able to box out defenders. Like on that slant, how cool is it that you've got a guy who's 6'5", 225 pounds, that if the corner gets aggressive and tries to shoot underneath, he's got the body mass, he being Christian Watson, to box out that defender and catch the football, make the possession catch for the first down. But he also has the ability that if the defender plays off of him and Jordan recognizes that, let me just lead him out here an extra 1.5 yards, 2 yards. He's got the speed to take it to the house. It looked like the defender was going to catch him, but knowing it's Christian Watson and knowing how much we've watched him run away from defenders. And you remember one of his big coming out parties was in Philadelphia when he went in for Aaron Rodgers, who got hurt in that game, when Jordan Love went in for him, and Christian Watson and Jordan Love got on the same page there. Very similar route, kind of a slot or kind of a slant or a shallow cross type thing. And I remember it was Darius Big Play Slay said, yeah, that boy's speed tricked everybody on the field. We all thought we had the angle, and he ran away. As soon as Christian caught that, I thought the defender's going to catch him, but we got a first down. And then as he pulled away, I went, damn, I think he's faster. I think he's faster than he was before the ACL, which is just a testament to Christian Watson and his work ethic, obviously. So it's really, really exciting to see this team starting to gel and really go to the next level together, specifically Jordan Love, Christian Watson. It was so cool hearing Pat McAfee, show his respect along with A.J. Hawk and Ty Schmidt having to eat his words because he was upset when they drafted Jordan Love when we still had Aaron Rodgers. It was just a really cool interview. You guys make sure you go check out that interview over on their YouTube channel, on their Twitter account. They've got clips everywhere. And again, it's just a great, great interview by Pat McAfee and the boys. So I want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you're watching this video back later, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about Jordan Love and Christian Watson, where they rank? Jordan Love being the 2nd highest graded quarterback in the league, Christian Watson being number 5. How do you feel about those rankings, and what do you think about Christian Watson's ability to go to the next level? And who knows, by the end of the year, we may be talking about him and Matt Stafford in that MVP race. Right now, it feels like Jordan is just a tier below the quarterbacks that are in the league for that MVP. But, boy, that can change in the blink of an eye if you continue going out and throwing 4 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, whatever. Throw for 300 yards and have a couple tutters, no picks. You're going to continue to put your name in that hat. Not that we care about MVPs, but it is really cool to know that Green Bay Packers have gotten another franchise quarterback. That is 3 in a row. Some would argue 4 in a row if you consider Don Majkowski before the horrible ankle injury, right? You went from Mikowski to Favre to Aaron, straight into Jordan Love. It's just, man. Some would say we're lucky. Some would say we're spoiled. I say we're blessed, right? And it's just awesome to see. So you guys, make sure you let us know in the comments how you feel. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. Like tonight, 6 p.m. Central for PTA Live. I'm going to try to get Chalk Talk together. We may have to hold it till tomorrow. But regardless, we're going live with the boys at 6 p.m. Central to talk everything Packers. So we will see you guys tonight. My name's Clayton. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
Here we go. We're out.
Bye, guys.